world we live in today thrives on electricity. From education to commerce, it's almost taken for granted. The green energy movement, such as going green, as commonly referred to, has become a staple to the 21st century. In fact, cars, light bulbs, and even businesses are going green. The biggest out of all of those going green movements is electricity. However, is green energy exactly what we need? Is green energy right for us as consumers? Renewable energy is extremely costly, and in fact, as power consumers, may not be the best solution for us. So instead, we must pressure our government officials in changing government policy in order to create a more balanced and environmentally and consumer-friendly power source. In fact, according to a survey I administered to peers ages 18 and older via social media and social interaction and email, from April 15th to April 29th, I got a response from that 40% of individuals who took that survey out of 50 said that they would prefer to go green, while 25% are against going green and 35% are indifferent. We will first look at why going green is not best for us as consumers, and how it demands more green out of us than it puts into the environment. Then we will search for solutions to this problem. And finally, I will present to you the final solution that is best out of all the listed solutions. There are less expensive approaches to green energy that are still capable of impacting our environment in a positive way, that are less expensive. Although it is generally perceived as a favor to our environment, the media has passed us with knowledge that states false pretenses to us as people about green energy. In fact, without proper action, us consumers will be paying more for our electrical energy. Green and renewable energy, such as hydroelectric power, solar power, and wind power, carry a hefty price tag for us as consumers. According to an interview I had with Mark Romberg, an electrical engineer at Loop Public Power District and a co-worker of my father, he states that Loop produces nearly 150 million kilowatt hours of electricity each year with its 2 hydro plants, nowhere near the amount of megawatts that NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, can produce with 1 coal-fired generating plant. And in fact, Mark Romberg is correct. According to the Nebraska Public Power District's website, updated in 2014, the Gerald Gentleman Station can generate 1,365 megawatts of electricity through coal power, making GGS the largest generation plant in Nebraska at a cost of $335 million. According to the NPPD website accessed in 2014, and last updated in 2014, the Ainsworth Wind Farm covers an area of 50 acres with 36 wind turbines and costs almost $81.5 million for the whole project, and can only generate with a 40% capacity rate due to the inadequate source of energy, wind, capable of powering these wind turbines, can only produce 60 megawatts of electricity. Wind farms on average have a life expectancy of 20 to 30 years, and that's pushing the limits. Most are actually serviced almost 10 years. Most wind turbines are usually replaced around then. If you were to do the math, in order to equal the same amount of megawatts that the Gerald Gentleman Station can produce, using the cost of the Ainsworth Wind Farm producing only at a 40% capacity rate, it costs nearly $4.6 billion for a facility to power the same amount of homes and businesses as the Gerald Gentleman Station. Wind power, as well as many other type of alternative energy solutions, has its opportunity costs as well. Opportunity cost, according to the Library of Economics and Liberty, updated in 2008, is the value of the next highest valued alternative of that resource. Because wind turbines have a short life expectancy, they need to be replaced frequently. Therefore, this increase in replacing wind turbines would allow for a decent demand of the jobs for us people. However, if you look at the Gerald Gentleman Station, for example, or any other kind of coal-powered plant, one must have to think of all the jobs that are required to keep that facility running. The Gerald Gentleman Station, for example, employs its personnel to be engineers, manage the power grid, all sorts of things, even security. However, the one thing that's missing to keep that facility running is coal. Coal must be mined. That provides jobs. Looking to Omaha, we have Union Pacific. Union Pacific, or any other railroad, would transport this coal to power facilities. Union Pacific themselves employ multiple personnel to monitor railways, to transport cargo, and many, many more. If you were to give up all the jobs that this coal plant were to provide, America would actually lose jobs, and it would hurt us as taxpayers and consumers of electricity in the pockets. Although it is a less expensive energy alternative using coal power instead of green energy such as hydro, wind, or solar, coal as well as gas and oil are not resources that we'll have forever. So the demand to have an alternative is at its highest. There are, in fact, a few alternatives to using coal and other non-renewable resources that could actually balance our pockets and the environment. One possible solution would be to retrofit all fossil fuel burning electricity plants, such as the Gerald Gentleman Station, and meet EPA recommendation standards for pollution hazards. Take the Gerald Gentleman Station, mentioned on the NPPD website updated in 2014. They use low sulfur coal, as well as different types of storage techniques, and low water treatment that provides a cleaner, more greener energy output from coal plants. This other alternative energy source, although it's not commonly referred to as green, is nuclear power. However, when the majority of people think of nuclear, they think of horrific incidents such as Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Chernobyl, mutations, deformations, even, well, the Hulk. However, as people of the United States, we don't have to fear many of these things, because our government has very strict regulations on these nuclear facilities. In fact, most of these nuclear facilities are not actually new, because the government has set mandates in line that prevent the addition of nuclear facilities, but retrofitting nuclear facilities to meet current demands is a possibility for now. According to Elizabeth Doherty, an engineer on the MIT website, updated February 16, 2010, pound for pound, uranium pellets are a million times more concentrated than fossil fuels. This means that nuclear reactors produce waste in much smaller volume than, say, coal power plants. The need for a change in an environmentally friendly power source, such as nuclear, would both benefit the environment and the consumers, and it appears to be the best alternative. Although nuclear energy may have some drawbacks, it seems to be the happy medium between the environment and us consumers. At the present time, though, nuclear energy is a non-renewable energy source. However, according to the NPPD website, updated in 2014, the the Cooper Nuclear Station, located in Brownsville, Nebraska, uses about 6 pounds of uranium to produce 750 megawatts of electricity, which is about the size of a deck of cards. The cost of a nuclear station, however, isn't exactly cheap. A station such as the Cooper Nuclear Station, capable of producing about 950 megawatts of electricity, cost the company nearly $5 billion. But these stations are capable of lasting almost 50 to 60 years. With the proper improvements, these facilities can last even longer. If one were to compare mathematically the cost of a wind farm, such as the Ainsworth Wind Farm, and the electrical output of a nuclear facility capable of producing nearly 1,000 megawatts of electricity, a wind farm like the Ainsworth one would cost nearly $6.4 billion. However, at the current time, nuclear energy does have its drawbacks. Such as right now, the legislation and the EPA have strict guidelines and policies set in place that hinder the progress of nuclear facilities to expand and produce a more greener environment and a greener wallet. So for right now, our government legislation is building facilities to store this nuclear waste. At the current time, though, most nuclear waste is being held at the nuclear facility itself. All in all, going green and renewable energy may save the environment. However, it hurts us as consumers financially. With your help, as well as the help of our legislation and government, we can restrict these mandates, hindering the progress of nuclear development and making nuclear our new alternative to a balanced and better future. The next time that you think green energy, think green and think how much it would cost to power your future.